the amount of
It's just-
shit we keep on creating for ourselves to do,
It's
which I love.
crazy.
All I saw was the Drake snake.
Oh my god. But
Yeah.
yeah, so what was your first time like? If
No.
I was to have an occlusion, how are you gonna fix it?
Yeah, what could happen, what could go wrong, how we can rectify it.
If you're coming in for the first time for cosmetic injectables, 1 mil of dermal filler is not going to give you. Hey guys, I'm Heidi.
And I'm Bibba, and we are Aesthetically Sisters.
Welcome back to another episode. We are so excited to have you tuning in this week. Make sure wherever you're listening to follow and subscribe and leave us a like and comment so we know what you want to hear next week.
That will allow us to be able to continuously serve you guys greatness, entertainment,
Yes.
and a lot of juicy topics.
Whatever you want, we'll
name
cover it. No limits.
No limits.
So tell me, sis, how have you been this week?
Well, a lot's happened.
It's been a hectic ride.
It's been a hectic couple of weeks.
I just feel like we are 3 months into January. We're 3 months into 2025. I'm
Heidi's like,
exhausted.
yeah, you're discombobulated.
I honestly feel like 2025 has gone so quickly, but at the same time so slow that so much has happened.
I don't even feel like it's gone slow. I feel like the amount of
It's just-
shit we keep on creating for ourselves to do,
It's
which I love.
crazy, yeah.
We finish one project and we start another
Start
one.
the next.
Yeah, and we're like, haven't even finished one, and we're like, oh yeah, let's do
Let's
this.
do this. It's
Yeah.
it's never ending,
And then including everything else in our lives.
literally.
So we
Try-
recently went to Drake.
Drake was, it was a few weeks ago now, but the best concert I've been to in a while. I'm such a concert girl and I don't go to them often. I really just hate.
Because we don't get anyone in
I know,
Australia.
we don't get anyone here. But also because when concerts are under 18s as well,
Yeah.
as over 18s, like they don't discriminate, it annoys me.
Yeah.
Because in the nicest way, I don't really be like dancing and singing my lungs out and have a 12-year-old next to me who's like sitting down and isn't appreciating.
Was that one under 18s as well?
Yeah, the girls sitting next to us were 14,
Oh,
15
that's
and 16
right.
years old.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's not a problem. I don't
Oh.
discriminate against the age. It's not the problem. The problem is they sang like the 3 popular songs that Drake sings and everyone knows and then sat down. Like
was me.
Drake is sitting and like not singing. Drake was standing, busting his lungs out, jumping on the stage, and these girls are sitting there. And I'm like, I don't feel like they in some way deserved to hear him sing.
Was he singing?
Yes.
I just thought he was tripoding. All I saw was the Drake snake.
Drake was amazing.
Low-key
I love
jealous.
him. I was actually upset. I feel like if I was to sit and have like dinner with Drake, we'd have like a really good conversation. And
Here
it
we
made
go.
me upset that we didn't have that opportunity.
Look, guys, wherever we go, Heidi says the same thing.
Even
So
with,
we
like,
were at shits and gigs,
like
and she
James
walked
and
out
Fuhad.
upset.
I was like, if only they knew, like we could sit and have the best conversation, but they don't know I exist.
James would not let you get a fucking word in.
But see,
That
me
guy
and
talks
James-
like a fucking, I don't know. The
But I
guy
feel
can
like-
talk underwater with marbles in his mouth.
James and I are both quite emotional and
Too much.
we're very alike. So I just feel like we just be such good friends. And like these
No,
celebrities.
you wouldn't. You both so opinionated.
No.
Yes.
Maybe.
You both are always right.
Anyways, I just have this thing that I think that celebrities I like we will have great dinner conversations. And I just know it's never going to happen. Maybe one day.
You
never say
know.
never.
Never say never.
Never say never.
Yeah.
So Drake was great. In summary.
That was-
I literally lost my voice after Drake. I was singing that.
Look, it was a great concert. The vibes were there.
The
I went for
vibes
the
were there,
vibes.
yeah.
The tripod, the snake. Like 3 songs. I was like those 12-year-olds that Heidi's talking about.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't like his new stuff.
he sang a good mix of old and
He
new.
did. I don't know. I just think
You never forget your first
I
time
was
though.
sorry.
You never forget your first time viewing Drake though. So
Oh no.
that'll be a memory I'll
taller
hold.
and broader than I thought.
Yeah, he's a tall
Major
man.
daddy. Major daddy. And it was actually It was actually so cute, that amount of people that came up to us.
Oh my God. How
sweet
did I
was
forget
that?
about that? We, for the first time, had like 4 groups of friends come up to us and ask for photos.
I know, it was
I
so
was-
adorable.
We walked over and I was like, Bibba, is this
It
real?
was actually so cute. One of the girls, one of the groups, she comes up to us and they ask for photos. And then she was looking at me. She looked me up and down. She's like, "Oh, you are wearing something green." She's like, "I just followed you, and I know how much you love green." And I had like my green Air Maxes,
Yeah.
whatever they're called, Jordans.
Air Maxes.
I don't even know.
Jordan.
Jordans on, and she's like, "Oh my God, you're wearing something green in your phone cover," and I was like,
That's so cute.
Sweetheart.
I honestly wanted to cry, and like big groups of girls were coming up. So I was like, "Oh my God, we watch you guys on TikTok. We love you." And
"The
I'm like,
podcast is so
yes,
good."
it was so beautiful. But
We
like
love you guys.
taking photos with someone, I was like, because you don't know if you look good in them. Now I get why celebrities don't love being like taking so many photos. with, no, like, not that
Okay, Beyonce.
not that I'm on that caliber.
We will
yet,
be.
Yet.
We will be.
But
That
like,
is the
I'm
fucking
like, oh my
energy.
God, they took like 15 photos, and like, what if I look fat in one of them? What if my hair's not done? But whatever.
No,
It
who
was so
cares? You
cute
don't look
and
fat.
so memorable that someone came up to us and took photos with us.
One too many. And it was so cute because every single girl that was coming up to us was like young, because it was an under 18 thing.
Basically,
Not all of them, but I would say like so many people were asking us, "Oh, we want to come in and get injectables, but we don't know what to expect." So today's episode is based for all of you girls that have never, ever, ever had injectables,
How to
and what to expect and how to prep for it.
how to prepare for your first time getting penetrated in the face, basically
With a needle.
With a needle.
There's another episode coming for anything else.
So I think we start with our first time. Like what
Our
was
first
yeah
injectable
inje-
experience.
Okay, we need to really be specific, like penetration first time. All right.
Oh,
Your
I don't
fir-
even remember. It was that long ago.
Your first time having a cosmetic injectable treatment done, like what was it like for you?
Well, I've always done my face.
Yeah.
And just recently, for the first time in my whole life, I actually got injected by this phenomenal aesthetic practitioner.
Me.
Look no further.
I actually recorded the whole thing because I was in awe
Yes.
that Bibba allowed me the pleasure of injecting her face.
She done my
Because
lips. Look at these lips.
Yeah. She's never allowed anyone to like inject her face
Ever.
before.
Ever.
And it's so impressive to me that she can stand in a mirror and administer.
This whole face you're seeing, I was not born like this.
No. I think they know
It
that.
came out of a box, from a cupboard, out of a syringe.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so what was your first time like? Because Bibba also didn't have her face injected for many years while she was an aesthetic practitioner.
Fun fact, I was doing Heidi's lips for years before I done mine.
I had, though, the thinnest lips. Like, at school, you motherfucking bitches used to make fun of me.
I've got your allergy list.
There was actually a time at school where girls would wear a post-it note with, like, a line and, like, stick it on their mouth because my lips were
That
that
burns
thin.
me.
As a child, I was upset. But then, lucky we had a solution.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't illegal to have cosmetic injectable procedures done with parental consent back then, all those years ago.
Yeah.
So I started getting lip filler done at a really young age because I was genuinely getting bullied for how small my lips were.
And I wasn't having it. No one's going to fucking make my sister upset.
Yeah.
St. Ursula's couldn't get bullying under control, so I came after them by
Yes.
injecting my sister, and she went to her next day at school.
Oh my
Ninth
God.
grade, by the way.
And then I
with
remember
lip
my year
filler.
coordinator like called me into a meeting and she's like, apparently you took the day off to go get your lips done. And I'm like, well, I didn't take the day off. I left early. And second of all, get
Do
the
it.
bullying
Call my
under
sister.
control.
Call my
si-
So she
Bib-
did.
Yeah.
And I went in there.
Anytime there was an issue, Bibba, you know,
There to the
Sister Code
rescue.
101 came in and sorted everything out. It was a dream.
So I made sure that nobody was going to bash on my sister. And that was when the Kylie Jenner lip craze came out.
Yes.
When she was starting with her lip fillers and stuff. And the whole...
And everyone
your-
was doing those like sucky thing on their lips.
Yeah.
No, I went straight for the filler.
No, we went straight for the filler. We ain't going to do none of this put your mouth in a bottle nonsense.
Nah,
My
not having
sister's
it.
face too good for that. And I made sure that those bitches that were bullying you are now on our database.
Yes.
They come here and they tell Heidi, I want your lips. And that is how you do a lot of these ones.
Fuck you, motherfuckers. No, I'm just
To bullies. We don't
Yeah.
like bullies.
No,
but
I
we
just
service
think
everyone now.
bullying. I am very against bullying.
Yeah.
And also like, especially when it's about your physical appearance, I
100%.
personally believe that yes, your appearance is like something you should take pride in, but it isn't the biggest thing about you or the thing that you should be judged based upon. You know?
Well, it's definitely your appearance should not be judged. Anyone that's sitting there making judgments on someone's appearance, they actually need
Yeah.
to be scheduled. Like
You should only also have a treatment done if it's something you're unhappy with.
100%.
Like,
but
who cares what anyone else is saying?
exactly. You should do treatments that make you feel amazing.
Yeah.
That enhance your
Beauty,
your confidence, your
yes.
self-love, your personal satisfaction. I don't think at any point anyone should be really like jotting down what other people are saying and sort of attending to it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have lost weight like 400 years ago. But I'm doing it now because it's on my timing.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. In terms of my first time experience, actually, funny story. I went from having nothing in my face, overnight, done 16 mils.
That is criminal.
That is
16
not.
mils of dermal filler in one sitting.
How's that criminal? That's phenomenal.
It's
I couldn't
impressive.
think of anything better.
Look, back in the day, I feel like large filler dosing was like the biggest thing
It
ever.
was.
But also taking into accountability,
I'd never had
didn't
anything in my face,
even-
and I had
yeah.
a very flat face.
a very flat face. So she obviously didn't look like her face wasn't as plumped as what it is now. Not that your face is over plumped now, but it took so many years to get here.
Yeah. And this is quite like a very important fact that you should sort of register before coming in for your first time treatment, that you're not going to walk out with, let's just say you're doing cheeks. You're not going to walk out with cheeks like this or like
No.
that from one session.
Definitely not.
Absolutely not. You're not going to walk out with lips like ours from one session. You've got to build on that. You've got to build
100%.
your base. So it's setting yourself realistic expectations, what your result is going to be. Quite often we get people that come in and they've had maybe their lips done twice before with other injectors, and they say, oh, it just dissolved. It didn't last. And then you've got to understand, like, we go through the whole process. You know, you need more than 1 mil. You can't be doing them every 8 months apart because you're
Yeah.
not going to build up the volume you want, etc., etc. But let's talk first time. What to expect.
Yes, this
and
is
how
important.
to prepare. That is very important.
Mm-hmm.
So we always, things to prepare. When people tell me, oh, I've looked up the treatment, I'm freaking out, do not go down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, don't freak yourself out with the worst case scenarios.
Absolutely. People start Googling what could go wrong, and then they go down this whole slippery slide of the world's worst complications. And not just that, there is a team of gypsies in the world that do not like our field.
Industry at all.
Okay, so
and they bag out every opportunity that they can.
and create stories and horror stories to scare people and freak people out. And not only are they like the kind of gypsies that are creating a whole cult of anti-aging using like aesthetic medicine, there are now, over the last couple of years, the doctors that are coming out saying how bad fillers are for you, that they sit in your face and they spread and they migrate and surgery is better. That's just because they're trying to benefit their business.
100%. And that is so important. If someone is bagging out cosmetic injectables,
Exactly.
look on their page and see why. Are they doing another treatment that is not going to make them money if you're getting cosmetic injectables?
That's right.
Or have they had a bad experience? Like, there's so many reasons why someone's going to say no to something.
Absolutely.
So definitely do your research on the treatment. Don't only look at the bad things, look at the positives.
That's right.
Understand how it works and call and ask around questions.
Exactly. Go to your consultations. We spoke about this a couple of episodes ago, where it's so important to go to multiple practitioners, have your consultations, ask questions.
Yes.
Bring a list of questions that you're concerned about. Any complications you've seen online. What is this?
If I
No.
was to have an occlusion, how are you going to fix it?
Yeah.
That's a big thing. You need to understand because it's also so important, like, to know you can be going to a doctor or a nurse or a practitioner who has 20 years of experience. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have a complication.
That's correct.
Once you sign that waiver and you sort of begin cosmetic treatments, it's so important to know that at some point in your, journey of having treatments, there is going to be a complication, whether it's heaviness from Botox, whether you have a lump from filler. These are things that are expected and
Absolutely.
can happen no matter how experienced you are. What is important is how your practitioner is going to then help you with this adverse event or
And
this complication and manage it.
Manage through it.
That's the most important thing, I think.
Yeah. Things like, we always get questions like, how do I prepare before coming in? We say try and stay away from like Nurofen,
Any blood thinning substance,
ibuprofen, fish
aspirin,
oils, alcohol. All these medications and supplements do have a blood thinning agent, so they do increase your bruising and your bleeding.
Yeah, and then as a result, you'll be more swollen and
That's right.
inflamed.
Yes.
So if you're trying to minimize that, then definitely avoid any blood thinners.
That's correct. Another thing is when they ask, am I going to bruise? Come into your appointment, to your consultation with the acceptance that I'm going to bruise. Because I told all my clients you're going to bruise.
And if you don't, it's a bonus.
It's a total bonus because no one wants to bruise. But when you think about a needle penetrating the skin, there's
and
risk.
anatomically, there are so many veins, capillaries, vessels in our
Arteries,
face
everything.
that sometimes it's like you just can't control it. You really can't. You're putting a needle in the face. We know where they are, but the veins and capillaries, but everyone is so different. We need to get into the nitty-gritty areas.
That's right.
Bruising is expected. It's
Absolutely.
not the worst thing
It's
ever.
not the worst thing.
It's
and
actually like
bruises go.
having an extra little treatment because when you bruise, your body
do love
creates
that.
more collagen and elastin.
I love
So
that.
you're getting like a 2-for-1. So
Yes.
bruise me. I want to be bruised.
I have clients that tell me to bruise them.
Yeah, they want people to know that they're having treatment. Amen.
They're my favorite. Something else to prepare is a lot of people are on intense workout schedules and routines.
Yes.
And they just cannot.
Have a
when
day
we
off.
tell them you need to have 24, 48 hours off, depending on what treatment they're having, just cannot deal with it. The
Especially with
idea.
like the non-surgical rhinoplasty.
I'm
we
not
don't
letting
allow-
you go to train for 5 days. You are sitting in bed. No, I'm joking. But I need everyone just chilling.
It's so important, and people sometimes I feel overlook their aftercare and
100%.
our recommendations. But it's so important because we've had clients who don't follow their aftercare and unfortunately end up with
with a bit of a complication.
with a bit of a complication. Like we're telling you don't sweat, and then you're going and sweating. You're going to the gym right after you've had your lips done. You're getting, sweat and bacteria into these fresh needle holes.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think is going to happen? So if you're going and training post having an injectable treatment done, obviously you already have this inflammation and the trauma in the area. And anytime you're increasing blood pressure, you're definitely going to have even more inflammation and swelling.
That's correct.
So
'Cause
you need to be mindful about that.
Yeah, so I agree with you. I do believe, and I say this to the clients, anything that's going to bring heat to the body is going to increase your swelling in the first couple of days.
100%.
So if you are training very hard for a competition or something, just be mindful that you are going to have to take the day or two off.
Yes.
Depending on your treatment.
And it's for your safety, not
That's
because we
correct.
don't want you to train.
I wish I could train like you. Something else that is quite important is I feel when people come in and they're filling out their consent form, they're not reading everything.
Read your consent form.
Absolutely, in detail. And you have any questions from the consent form, your consultation is where you discuss everything.
100%.
Yeah.
If you don't even feel bothered reading it, we generally know because you sign it in 0.25 seconds and it's a 11-page form. We will go through it with you.
We do, anyway.
Anyways, because in the consent form, it talks about all of these side effects, adverse events, like anything that you need to know and legally should know before having a treatment.
That's correct.
If you're having a treatment or a consultation and they're not discussing risks and side effects, that's a red flag.
That's very...
They should be telling you the worst case scenario of what should happen because you're legally allowed to know. And as medical practitioners, we have a duty of care to tell you and
That's-
keep you informed.
Very true.
So
Very true. And for those that have had a first-time experience outside of Biba Cosmetic Solution, our clinic, and you come in and we are giving you this whole spiel, we're not trying to scare you. Because quite often,
people are like, oh my God, I'm
I
scared.
didn't, no one's told me this before. That's not our fault, honey.
That's why you're here.
That's why you're here. And you didn't go back to your last injector because we are delivering you for your safety,
Yeah.
most utmost up-to-date consultations and in-depth education of what to expect, what's next, what's going to happen after we
Yeah.
do this, what could happen, what could go wrong, how we can rectify it. And it's just for your safety, not to scare you at all.
Another thing to know is if you're coming in for the first time for cosmetic injectables, 1 ml of dermal filler is not going to give you a pillow face effect.
No.
I get like
It
the
won't.
other day I was consulting a new client, never had any treatment
Yeah.
before, and we were wanting to work on like her mid face.
Love
And she's
that
like
area.
to me, oh, can we start with half a mil? I said, definitely not, because half a mil, 0.25 each side is literally not going to do anything. And it's important to know that 1 mil, even 2 mils and 3 mils for your first time in a larger area is not going to make you look pillowy. That pillow
Absolutely.
face happens over time for over treating in a very short period of time, not using the right dermal filler for that area or not using the right technique. There are so many other contributing factors I
That's
think
right.
people
Yeah.
think about. But definitely for your first time, you shouldn't be having that pillow face
No
effect
one
at
walks
all.
out with pillow face.
No, but like, cause I have seen from other like clients who've had their cheeks done for the first time,
Yeah.
if you're injecting it too superficially, it will appear heavy and pillowy per se.
But I
But
feel bad for those clients
it's
because
sad, yeah.
they don't know. They're
They're-
going to a practitioner
Who's
thinking
meant to? Yeah.
this practitioner is knowing what product
Yeah,
choice
of
is
course.
very important and the right plane of injecting in the correct spot. And then when they smile and talk and they get all this animation.
This movement, yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many contributing factors to the pillow face, and it's not something you should be expecting or thinking about from
within
your first
or-
time.
Yeah. And if it does happen, you know where we are.
Contact us at Biba Cosmetic Solution.
Which takes me to my next topic is when we're constantly being asked, we get calls, daily emails, DMs. Do you guys fix other people's work?
Yes, we do.
Mm-hmm.
We do. And the amount of times we actually like have clients message us, and I don't know if this is sour or not, but we can cut this out if it is.
No, it's not. Go. I don't even
We
know
have
what
a
it
lot
is,
of,
but go.
so like I respond to a lot of the DMs on the work page when I have time, and so many times we get clients who message like, hey, I had a treatment done elsewhere and I'm experiencing this. Is this normal? The fact that you're messaging another clinic,
Which
I
do
find-
continue to do so.
like
You are always
I love
welcome.
helping, but sometimes I'm like, why are you messaging us and not your practitioner? Like, that is something I don't ever ask. I always say, you should be expecting, but there's only so much I can speak about because I don't know what you
That's
had,
correct.
what filler was done, what technique was used, how much was put in there. There's so much we need to know before we advise.
Absolutely.
But I find it so interesting that people go out of their way to message another clinic for advice after a treatment. Like, why?
Because they need the goat's advice. That is why. But also, we don't get mad if when
Of
you
course,
guys do.
I always respond because I know
Yeah.
as a client, I feel so overwhelmed if I've gone somewhere and I don't fully trust them maybe.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
And they feel sort of that like they have to commit to the treatment because they're there. You don't.
Never commit if you're not comfortable.
And when we do say we need you to come in for us to review what you're talking about so we can deliver the best and safest practice without misleading you with information, it's not that we're brushing you off because so often people would say, but can you just tell me, is it right or wrong? Or what am I supposed to feel this? Or why is this happening? Or is it going to resolve on its own? We need to see
you.
because if we judge by photo and we give you the wrong
Photos
information,
are
we're misleading
100%.
you. You've come to us for help. We want to help.
Yes. And even this is also goes for people who want to have a consultation over DM and like send a photo. Very, very rarely we ever do online consultations because your cosmetic injectables, again, isn't like having your eyebrows waxed or eyelashes put in.
That's right.
It is literally a medical procedure.
That's correct.
That we need to not only look at a photo, we need to see you talk and animate and express because we don't want to take your natural expression and characteristics away. We need to see the way you move and talk and what anatomically is happening and then do a treatment plan based on that, not based on a photo that most likely has shitty lighting. Sorry, but you're taking photos.
I did feel some kind of way about this because we've been doing this for too long.
But like, it's something we need to see, and you should be taking the time to have a consultation in person.
That's right. So quite often we get the messages like where girls or clients are texting us at like midnight. They're in bed. They put their flash and they're like, can you?
And their face is pushed back, and I'm like, I can't tell you how many mils of filler you need. I can't.
Can you tell me how much mils I'd need to create this? And they'll send us a photo of like Kim K.
No, but my favorite photos are the ones of clients in bed and their husbands are next to them.
Oh my God, I love you
so
guys.
Funny. I actually love it, I promise.
You guys are the best. Honestly, we live through the DMs
it's
that
so
we get.
fun.
And we are so grateful that you think of us in bed at midnight and reach out.
I love it. Even if you're not coming to see us, I know that deep down you want to, and this is why you're reaching out to us. They always
end up coming back around, or coming around anyway.
Yes, that's right.
That's right.
But going back to your first time, were you nervous?
No.
Why weren't you?
I wasn't. I guess
you had been doing it for a long time.
I'd been doing it for I had been injecting for almost 4 years. And I remember when I'd done my anti-wrinkle the first time, I was driving and Mum was in the car with us. And I said to my Mum, I think I might get like Botox. And I hadn't even finished the sentence. And she was like, about fucking time. And in that very moment,
you know it's time when your mum is telling you
I created a monster with Mum.
Yes. Oh
I created a monster. I'd done so much on my mum that she was like,
what are you waiting for?
Thank God you're about to do this.
Yeah.
And I did it. I did my anti-wrinkle and then I'd done all my fillers.
Yeah.
In one night.
Sitting. Wow.
Yeah. Finished
one
work.
Lonely night.
Yeah. I'm dead. Yeah, basically. And I just slayed my face and went to work as a brand new bitch the next day.
I love that.
So what was your first time like? I remember it so clearly.
Yes, obviously Bibba's the only person who's ever touched my face with cosmetic injectables. And my first time, I was quite nervous. I had been working with Bibba for about a year maybe. Oh wait, no.
No, we just
Sorry,
said this.
I was like,
we just spoke of.
I know, but I'm thinking like the lips. I'm like, it's so 2010.
Yeah.
First time of lips.
Or anything.
Okay, first
time.
We
had been doing your lips for so long
before I did anything else.
That's right.
So the first time I ever had my lips done, I was very nervous. We did like a full meal. I remember we put like so much numbing cream on because I was like petrified. And I don't know if it's because Bibba is my sister, but I'm a little bitch when it comes to having my injectables done.
If a little bitch was even personified.
I'm her. Anytime I felt, I'm like, oh my God, ow, it hurts. But then like after a couple of injections, you go numb because the dermal filler has numbing in it. And then it's quite comfortable. I just remember I swell so much with the product that we first used.
No, it was the third time we done your lips. I used a different product, a different brand.
Yeah.
And
I literally, got up and I'm going to try and find a photo because I was like a bit, like, you know the memes? I was a meme. And I went to school and I was like, oh my God, everyone was like, what the hell happened to you? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it's normal. Within a few hours of the day, it starts to go down. But I was pretty petrified. I think though, I was more nervous the first time I did facial fillers. Yeah. Besides my lips. Bibba did like, I think 7 or 8 mils in my face. And we did like
normal, guys.
Very normal for your first time treating a full face.
If you're treating a full face.
We did cheeks, chin. I think a little bit under my eyes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. My under eye, definitely.
Yes.
I haven't done them in like, say, 2-3 years now.
Oh, so long.
But this is the thing. Once you sort of build up your face, it can
Yes.
last you quite a long time.
That's right.
Like I rarely do fillers now.
I honestly have not touched my cheeks. And no one's going to believe this.
Yes.
Okay, but you're welcome with your comments. I've not touched my cheeks, I would say, in about 3.5 years.
Yeah.
I honestly can't remember. It's been over
That
3.5
long.
years. My chin dissolved it, and I haven't even gone back to
Gone
it.
back, yeah. Everyone always
Always.
talks shit about our chins. Can I tell you?
This is natural. It's the only natural thing in my face.
Honestly, we like genetically and anatomically have these chins that we call them witch chins in our family. Our chin is just the way it is. I promise you. I only have a bit of dermal filler here because this mentalis muscle is so strong.
It is.
It's like a witch chin. So
I used to get bullied at school, getting called witch chin.
Yeah, I was too busy getting bullied about my lips for them to start on my chin.
Oh my God, I'm dead.
But our chins are honestly the realest thing about our face.
Yeah.
And it's the thing that people get so annoyed about.
And our noses.
And my nose is done.
Heidi's done, yeah.
I've done filler in my nose.
I've done Antwinkle, but nothing else. But, I mean, I don't have a great nose, so relax.
Your nose is perfect.
No, it's not.
It is.
She's sweet.
Stop it. But yeah, going back to my first time, I did, about 7 or 8 mils of dermal filler. And I remember I was so petrified. I always overthink pain in my head. I'm probably the most annoying client ever. So the first time that I had my face treated, we were literally mid-work shift. And people was like, oh, my client cancelled. Do you want to come upstairs? And I'm like, what? And she's like, come up, let's do your face. I'm like, okay. And I didn't know what to expect. And the thing is, you don't know what to expect for your first time. And I think that's why you overcomplicate the pain so much in your head.
Can I say something, and can you listen and not judge?
I don't know if I can. Okay, go.
I actually put in a fake client that day and cancelled upon my own accord to do your face because I know you're psych and you would have overthought the process.
What?
And literally done my head in all day and overworked yourself. And I thought, I need to minimize how much you think about this.
I actually can't believe you just said, are you being serious?
I promise to God.
I feel like I've been cheated on.
No, I didn't cheat you. I saved you from yourself.
For 6 years, this woman has finally now just decided to confess.
Well, this is the platform.
Oh my God.
To listen and
are
not
you serious?
I promise on my son.
You're getting teary, so I know she's being
I know,
serious.
because I'm a terrible liar. I can't lie.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So the first time I had my face filled.
Yeah, I had to strategically.
So you basically
It was a
thought,
1 hour appointment. When do I ever book
That's
1 hour
true.
appointments?
oh my God, I never thought about that. So you thought I was ugly and I needed filler.
No, I knew you wanted to
Wow.
have treatment, and you kept saying, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not prepared. I can't. I want it.
me.
But she shimmies. Shimmy.
I'm dying.
Yeah, and I thought, I have to just
Oh my
outsmart her.
God. You really outsmart me. I'm shocked.
I outsmarted you.
Wow.
And I got you in that bed.
Well, lucky you did that because I probably still to this day would have never had treatment. I would have
know.
been so scared.
I know. And I
It's-
just had to tell her, we've got 45 minutes because we had
Come on.
15 minutes of her complaining in the hour. Like, I'm not ready. She done the whole thing that she would have been doing all day.
Yeah.
Yes and no and yes and no. And then
then
we
you just
always
sit there.
argue.
I know.
She gets so mad
The
at me.
one time we always argue, besides vacation, I'm joking, is in the treatment bed. I don't know
Yes.
what happens to me. I
She
turn
turns
into
into,
this
I don't know.
vulture, and I'm like, it hurts. Stop it. Are you hurting me on
And
purpose?
she gets angry at me, like physically. And do not, for your first time, get angry at your injector.
No.
Because they're not hurting you on purpose.
Truly not.
They're not.
And then I hold the mirror. I'm like, what are you doing now? I'm so annoying. I'm so sorry. I'm
and then
actually
she'll be
sorry.
like, she'll hold her phone
yeah.
and she'll be like, I don't know, the camera. And she'll do this and then she'll get the mirror and I'm standing there like,
Okay, I need to see you.
I need to see you. I'm injecting.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
So,
I
note
had
to self,
yeah.
on your first time, don't be too scared for the pain
That's right.
and don't put your phone and mirror in your injector's face.
please.
Yeah,
I beg you.
I actually take the mirror off my client. So after we finish our consult, I take the mirror and put it on the bench.
Yeah.
Like you're not looking at yourself until we're done now.
Oh, look, I let my clients, like, I'll do one side of, like,
Oh, of course.
have a look.
But you're not holding the mirror while we're injecting.
No one's
That
holding
is like
nothing.
a big no.
Put your phone down, girl
Yeah.
and boy, and enjoy the treatment.
100%.
And just,
Trust
I keep
the
saying to
process.
Heidi when I'm injecting her, the less you fuss, the quicker it's over. And do you think she listens, by the way?
That's so true. If you just
Yeah.
like get it done and over quickly
Yeah,
and safely, it's fine.
absolutely. No, they're not rushed treatments.
Never rushed.
Never rushed, taken care of.
100%. Even
And
if
look-
there's a whole room of people waiting
That's right.
downstairs, we're not rushing you. I promise.
And then as a result, you look as gorgeous as this doll.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
What other thing do you think is quite important for clients to be aware of when they're prepping to come for their first time?
That during the healing process, you're going to go through a mix of emotions and
That's right.
like different phases.
That's right.
The healing process is generally like a 14-day cycle. And immediately after treatment and for the next like 2 days, you generally swell more and more.
Yeah.
Especially for like the lips. They get bigger and bigger. You're talking, eating, moving. It's a very mobile area.
That's right. I do tell clients that your first 3 days
Is like-
you are going to have the majority of your
I
swelling.
always say your 3 days like the ugly days.
But no, and then I actually say in a different way, I say you're gonna have so much swelling that it might bother you.
Yeah.
But what will bother you more is once that swelling goes down,
You're going to want bigger lips.
you're gonna miss your big lip.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be sad.
Yeah.
But don't worry, because we can book you back in and do that again. And you don't have
100%.
to wait 6 months.
That's
And
right.
yeah, that's so important to
100%.
know that.
Expect that you're going to be swollen, uneven,
That's right.
feel a bit funny and getting used to it.
That's right.
And don't forget, we are putting like a gel in your face, basically. It's a
Hyaluronic
hyaluronic
acid.
acid-based gel.
Sugar-based protein.
And we're putting that into your face. So it not only does it take 14 days for you to heal, but it then takes about 3 to 4 weeks for it to fully integrate
Yeah.
into the tissue. So we always say,
Um,
and studies say, filler does look its
Looks
best like
best at
3 to 4 weeks post treatment
yeah.
because you need to give it time to integrate, settle in, because it's healed at 2 weeks, but then it
It's
needs
still-
to become one with you.
I
That's
love
like the
it.
only way I feel like I can explain it to
Yeah.
clients. Like
No, that's
it
a
needs to
great
become
way.
a part of you, basically.
Yeah. I tell my clients especially with the nose, if you're coming in for
Yeah.
a nose, that is a lot of swelling.
Yes.
And I don't care if you've had it done before and you didn't swell. You're gonna swell with me. I just tell everyone. I prep everyone
For like
for
the worst.
swelling,
Yeah.
for the worst.
Bruising, swelling, pain.
Exactly. Discomfort, tenderness. You just put that in your mind that you're not gonna have a treatment where your skin's being penetrated with a syringe and have a gel inserted in there and you're not gonna feel a bit of tenderness
Yeah.
later on. I make everyone expect the worst and then
Yeah.
they're shocked when it's not so deep
I know.
and they realize, okay, I can handle this. It's not
Yes.
so bad. What was I freaking out about? And then on top of
100%.
that, if you're doing your lips for the first time, our numbing cream is next to none. Nobody has our
I can agree.
concoction.
It's pharmaceutically compounded.
Amen.
We invest in numbing cream because we want you to be comfortable.
Absolutely.
So you don't really, it's not even painful. The first few maybe tingle a little bit and then you go numb
Yeah.
internally, externally, and then you're just sitting there like, all right, I want to see my lips.
That's right. You love it. By the time you're done with, let's just say, your lip treatment, they're going to feel bigger than mine.
Yes.
But that's just because
It's a sensation. It's a feeling.
exactly.
Yeah.
You're numb on the inside from the filler. You're numb on the outside from the numbing cream. You got a bit of swelling from the trauma of the needle. There's a lot of things going on.
Happening. Yeah.
They feel that way. And then when they look at them, sometimes they freak out. Oh my God, they're so big. But instantly, I show before and
Before and
afters,
afters, yeah.
while they're still on the bed, and they're like, oh,
Okay.
okay.
It's not that much of it.
big at all. It just feels bigger. And
Of
I'm like,
course.
45-minute consult. That's what I was talking about.
Yes. Listen to your nurse during
That's
your
right.
consultation.
That's a very important factor.
Yeah.
Do listen to your consultation because
And-
I feel so many people
Don't.
They're very nervous. I think I'll come back to that. Another thing, preparing for your treatment, do not bring so many friends. I don't mind if you bring a friend.
friend.
Or your mum or one person. But when there's 2-3 people, I don't let them in the room.
It
Gets a bit
100%.
much.
It's a lot because you feel like this external pressure.
That's right.
And sometimes we have clients that like, you know what, I'm not ready. And their friend's like, just do it, just do
do
it.
it.
And I'm like, please, friend, the downstairs lobby is waiting for you.
Absolutely.
Because you can't pressure someone into these treatments. And
Absolutely not.
I feel like I'm a broken radio. I keep saying this. Having injectables is not like getting your bloody eyebrows done.
That's right.
Like you need to really think about it a little bit more, and be committed and ready for it. Last tip, if you are going into a cosmetic injectable treatment for your first time, just know that there is a solution for everything. If you're not happy with your treatment, once it's healed and settled, you can definitely have it dissolved and you're just going to end up looking like what you used to look like before you had the treatment done. Very rarely treatments or any adverse events or any complications are permanent. There are always solutions and ways you can manage it to get you back to looking like what you used to look like.
And these complications are very rare.
Yeah.
They are not something that happen every day,
Yeah.
every month. I've been in aesthetics for 11 years, if not longer, and these are not things that happen often at all.
Yeah.
So knowing that is very important. When we are telling you your possible risks and side effects, it's for your knowledge.
100%. You
It's
should
not
know.
we're not assuring you
Yeah.
that's going to happen, God forbid. And obviously, knowing you have access to your nurse 24/7 if something is to happen
Yes.
after you leave the clinic, to be able to contact. Always make sure you ask, if they don't give you a number, you ask, what is my point of contact to you if an adverse event is to occur?
That's a big one. We obviously have a 24-hour contact number. So once you like have a treatment with us, you get VIP access. It's like a new level unlocked to a contact number where you can literally message us at any hour of the day. If it isn't an emergency, we do respond immediately or very quickly. Otherwise, if it's just like, hey, I've bruised, you're waiting until business hours for a reply.
If it's at 3 a.m.
If it's at 3 a.m. So yeah, it's very important for yourself to have that ease of mind. Like I can contact them and
it just feels secure that your nurse or your practitioner generally cares about your well-being, your results, your mental health, because these can be stressful.
Of course.
You know, clients can leave and have a bit of bruising, a bit of swell differently on each side of the body, which is very normal. And you know, you can talk to someone about it at any time. That is so important. We're here
100%.
to hold your hand and create the best version and hottest version of yourself.
And
to make you forever bold, brave, and badass.
I love that. I love that. Amen. Amen to that.
All right. I love this. I hope this
here.
has been helpful.
I know. If you're a first-time client, let us know in the comments below if this helped you and if you have any other questions relating your first time having treatment.
That's right. We kept it really basic so we don't complicate you, but there is more to come. We will keep informing you and educating you
100%
on anything and everything and how to be prepared not only for your injectables, but for life.
Amen. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode. We'll see you next week.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow.
Mwah. Bye.